Hello, grade 6s. I welcome you to our lesson. We are looking at length. Okay, yes, length and distances, right? So when we talk of length, we are looking at how long something is, right? Short and long distances, right? So in this particular video, we are going to estimate and be measuring lengths and distances and identify the units to measure the length and distances. Okay, the units, and also talk about the instruments that we use to measure the different instruments that we use to measure length and distance, right? So the units, right, we use mainly 4 units in our day-to-day lives to measure. We have got millimeter. I'm happy that you know these units. Millimeters are those units which you see on your plastic ruler. We would need the plastic ruler and at least the plastic ruler. It has got millimeters and centimeters, right? Your plastic ruler or your ruler that you use, which can fit in your school bag, that ruler which you use to underline and to roll off your work. So we have got 2 units which are shown there, the millimeter and the centimeter. Then we use it for short lengths, right? Like the width of your book, the length of your book, and the size of your palm and your arm, your hand. We use a ruler. The desk, the width of your desk, we use a ruler. Okay, so for those that are a bit longer, like the height of the room or the width of a room, the length of a room, we can use meters. We can use now a meter stick. Okay, and then some other things like the length of a curtain or a piece of cloth, it will be better measured using a tape measure. Then we have very long distances where we need to use the kilometers. Okay, and for the long distances, normally we see this in the vehicles that we use. So we have got the odometer, they have got the odometer, and we can use the odometer to measure the distances between towns in kilometers, because the towns will be a bit far away. Okay, then we have got the throttle wheel. The throttle wheel, in your books it is there for those who have not been privileged to see it physically. So it can also measure. Some have got measurements in centimeters and meters, okay, but some have got meters only. They measure in meters only. So every time it goes around and it clicks 1 meter. When it is 1 meter, it gives a clicking sound. So the one who will be measuring using a trundle wheel will count the clicks that will be happening as he is moving the wheel along the side that they are measuring. So they will be counting the clicks. Every time it is a meter, it will give a clicking sound. Okay, all right, so these are the units and the instruments to measure lengths and distances. Now, just to see how much we know about the units. We have got an activity here that we are going to do to estimate these lengths. So if we know the units, then we will be able to estimate the length of each of these things which we have here, right? So you look at your plastic ruler there, you can see that those small, they are the millimeters, and each centimeter, 1 centimeter, is equal to 10 of those smaller units in between, from 0 to 1. They are 10 millimeters. They are 10 of those smaller units, the smallest unit of measuring length, millimeters. Okay, and then between every centimeter, or every centimeter has got these 10 millimeters. Between 2 and 3, they are 10. Between 26 and 27, they are 10 millimeters. Between any two numbers on that ruler, they are 10 millimeters. Okay, so the whole ruler, which is 30 centimeters, it has got 300. And if your ruler is still new, you can see it labeled on the other side from 0, 10, 20, 30 up to 300. And then on the other side, we have centimeters from 0 up to 30 centimeters. So you just need to know that for shorter lengths, you can use that ruler, and then you will be adding as you extend or as you count the number of rulers that you are getting as you are measuring. Okay, so the length of a classroom, if you look at your classroom or your room, can you measure it in millimeters, or in centimeters, or in meters, or in kilometers? So the test here, the trick here is on identifying the correct unit that you can use to measure. Although you can measure in smaller units, but it will be tiresome. Okay, so 15 millimeters, if you can look at your ruler, you can see that 15 millimeters is just 1 centimeter, and then half of the next centimeter, 1.5 of the centimeters, 1.5 centimeters on a small ruler. Then 15 centimeters, it is half of your plastic ruler, which is quite small. Then 15 kilometers could be a walkable distance, but you will be very tired after 15 kilometers. Okay, so which means our correct answer here will be 15 meters. So we were tested on this 15 meters, so we can just estimate the length of the classroom to be 15 meters. It's around there, 15 meters. Then we go to the length of your arm. If you can just look at your arm, can you say it is 50 millimeters, it is 50 centimeters, 50 meters, 50 kilometers? Already we can see that 50 kilometers is out and 50 meters is out. It cannot be a meter. Okay, but then if we look at 50 millimeters, if you check on your ruler, 50 millimeters is 5 centimeters, and 5 centimeters, can we say it can be 5 centimeters? 5 centimeters will be too small. Okay, so this also is out, which means our answer will be somewhere around 50 centimeters. Okay, right, let's go on. Length of a paper clip. You know the paper clip, which is something like this, that one which is used to hold some papers by the teachers when they are probably holding papers together, right? How long can it be? What is the length of that paper clip? Can it be 25 millimeters? Look at your ruler, then 25 centimeters, which is almost almost the ruler, the whole plastic ruler, it will only leave out 5 centimeters, which means this one is not, and this one out, this one you out. A paper clip is just a small thing, so our answer could be this, which is 2 centimeters, about 2 centimeters and a half. Okay, 2.5 centimeters. Then we go to the width of a textbook. The width of a textbook. If you check, right, I'm sure the millimeters is the one which can be challenging at this level. 20 millimeters, look at your ruler. 20 millimeters is just 2 centimeters. 2 centimeters, right? It is out. This one is out. A textbook cannot be 2 centimeters. Then we go to 20 meters. Oh, this is too much. We cannot have that book which is 20 meters, right? And 200 centimeters. If you take your ruler, it means 30 centimeters. To make 200, we need 6 of them plus 20 centimeters. This is out. So the width of a textbook can be 20 centimeters. Okay. Then a walk to school, a walkable distance to school. Right, this one is too much. 300 kilometers, no, we can't walk that. We will need days to cover 300 kilometers walking. Okay, it's not a walkable distance. Then 30 centimeters, my goodness, 30 centimeters is your ruler, your plastic ruler. This is too small a distance to walk. Then 3 meters, that's something else. This one is too small again. So the walkable distance could be 3 kilometers. Okay, 3 kilometers to go to school. Then we have length of your shoe. Look at your shoe. Look at your shoe. And your ruler, your plastic ruler, right? We have 20 millimeters, which is about 2 centimeters. Even of a small baby, this cannot be 2 centimeters is too much. 20 millimeters is too small, right? But 2 meters is just too much, because 1 meter must be having 3 of our 30 centimeter rulers. 1 meter is 3 of those 30 centimeter rulers plus 10 centimeters. That's 1 meter. So if it is 2 meters, it means it will be having 6 of your plastic rulers in a line, and then plus 20 centimeters. So it's too much. Then 20. So probably your shoe could be 20 centimeters long. Okay. Then the height of a door, 20 millimeters is too much. Maybe it will be your finger only which could get in there, but it won't even fit. Then 20 meters is too much for the height of a door. And 200 meters again is out. Maybe around 200 centimeters. It can be, because we are estimating here, it can be slightly less than 200 centimeters. So around 200 centimeters, that could be an estimation which is reasonable. Then the distance between Cape Town and Pretoria. Okay, distance between Cape Town and Pretoria. Now looking at the buses which travel at from 80 kilometers per hour to around 100 kilometers per hour or 120, they will take about 2 days or 1 day traveling. It's almost there, about 20 something hours of traveling, right? 20 something hours, 20 of traveling, right? Which means 14 is out. And 146 is just for towns which are close by, okay? Which means 1,460 can be a reasonable estimation of the distance between Cape Town and Pretoria, okay? All right, let's go on. Here we are to try and find out the unity, the correct unity of measure that we would use to measure these things which are given here, right? We have got the width of a desk. If you can just look at your desk, can you use meters or kilometers? You can see that those measurements are too big. You will need probably millimeters. You can measure in millimeters, and you can also measure in centimeters, right? Okay, then your height. Your height, what are the units that you can use to measure your height, right? Some may want to say you would just need 1 meter, and so if it is just 1 meter, it means you can resort to centimeters and millimeters, okay? Centimeters and millimeters, although they will be slightly over 1 meter, okay? Then the length of a pencil. Obviously, a pencil is small, so we'll use centimeters and millimeters. Then the height of a house, we will use meters, okay? You'll use meters. We can also use centimeters, but meters will be more precise. Then the height of a room, that's meters again. Meters will be more precise there, right? Now we have where we have to do something. Carefully measure. I would urge you to take these things down so that you practice measuring. When we are measuring, okay, we need to first see how big is the thing that we are measuring. Is it something that will need millimeters, centimeters, or meters, okay? Millimeters, centimeters, or meters. So if we are to measure in meters, it means we must make a meter stick. Make a meter stick. How do you make a meter stick? 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. You can make your own. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So using your plastic ruler, which is 30 centimeters long, if it is still visible, the measurements are there. You will need 3 of them. So you have 1 ruler there, 2, the third one, and then plus 10 centimeters. So it's 30 plus 30 plus 30, and then plus 10. 30 plus 30, 60 plus 30, 90 plus 10, 100 centimeters. Okay, so you can make your own. Measure a stick 100 centimeters long, and then mark 10, 20. You can mark 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 on that meter stick, and write at the end 1 meter, from 0 to 1 meter. Okay, then you can use the meter stick to now measure the things that are a bit long, so that the small ruler will take you a lot of time, and you may even also confuse, right? It is better when you are measuring your height, you put the meter stick, right? And then where you now need to add, you use a small ruler, and you look for the centimeters and probably the millimeters that are there. Then you combine them together, you put them together. The width of your bed, you may need the meter stick. You put a meter stick, and then the piece that will be left, you use your small ruler. Okay, and then you have how many meters and how many centimeters, like that. The height of a wardrobe, you may need the meter stick. Use your meter stick, and then the piece that will be left, if it is there, then you use a small ruler and measure the last piece that is there, put them together. How many meters? So your answer will be in meters and centimeters. Okay, then we go to the length of your pen, the pen that you use to write with. It is small, so you can use centimeters, your small ruler, and then millimeters or millimeters. You can measure in millimeters or measure in centimeters. But when you are measuring, make sure that you start from the 0 mark, the 0 point on your ruler. Okay, the 0 point must be exactly at the beginning of what you are measuring. Okay, then you see where does it end. You put a mark there and you read the millimeters. You read also, even if you are measuring in centimeters, you read the last number showing the centimeters of that which you are measuring. Then the length of your palm. Okay, right? You can do that. What would you use to measure this? Right? Here we have to think on the units or the instruments, right? The distance around a soccer field, right? If you are going to use your plastic ruler, you are going to be very tired, and you can be even be confused that you won't even remember what happened. Where was I? I have forgotten. Okay, it will take a long time, right? And it will be tiresome. A small ruler will not do. A soccer field, so we will need a meter. We can use a meter stick to give us the distance in meters, or we can use a Tranto. The Tranto wheel will be the best thing here to use if we have it. Okay, the Tranto wheel. So every time it goes and it makes a 1 meter, it will give a clicking sound. Every meter it will give a clicking sound. So we will just count how many clicks. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as we go, and it will be faster. Okay, you can also think of other ways to measure. Okay, it's up to you. Like probably the what do you call this one? The measuring tape, which is used by builders. Yes, if you have got another person, if you are two, you can do that one. Then you bring together. You will be using it at, its maximum. Maybe if it is 50 meters, a measuring tape of 50 meters, you open it to 50 meters. Then you go, maybe you will assist each other to come up with the distance right around a soccer field, but it will take time. The Tranto wheel will be the best instrument here, and you will measure in meters. Okay, then the total distance around a house, you can use the Tranto wheel. You can use a meter stick, and calculate in meters the total distance around a house in meters, right? Then distance between towns, you can use an odometer, because you have to be traveling. You can't use a small ruler, you can't use a meter stick, you can't use a Tranto wheel. It will take some time, so it's better to use the odometer between towns, because it is quite a distance far. Okay, right? What would you measure with your ruler, what units would you use? Okay, what would you measure? We can see that our rulers, they use millimeters and centimeters. Okay, millimeters and centimeters. And then what would you measure using your ruler? Okay, you can look around in your bedroom, look for things that you can measure in your bedroom. You can measure, or even in the classroom, around the classroom, like the boxes, the height of a box, or the cupboard, or anything, what you are, a pile of books, a pencil, tin. You can find things to measure. The window, using your ruler. Okay, what would you measure with your ruler? You can, these are things that you are looking for in the bedroom. You are looking for these things in the bedroom, right? In the classroom, you can measure the window. You can measure the board where the teacher writes. You can measure the duster. You can measure the pens, the pencils, the textbooks, different textbooks, and record their measurements in millimeters and centimeters. Okay, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you know, and you won't confuse anything. Okay, what would you measure with a trundle wheel? Okay, right? We have seen the soccer field, right? What else can you use a trundle wheel? We can measure a garden, right? Garden, to go right round a garden, or distance between objects which are visible. Okay, we have also seen some stands being measured using a trundle wheel. Okay, stands, right? Where houses are built, you can use a trundle wheel. Okay, and you can also add some of your own. What would you measure using a trundle wheel? Right, the distance has to be reasonable. You can have a track field where people will be sprinting, running and sprinting. You can also talk of the, what do you call this, the other fields of sports, where sports are played, like the netball court, like the baseball court, and so on and so on. Okay, you would use that because they are a bit reasonable to be measured using a trundle wheel. Okay, and what units will you use? Right, obviously we are talking of meters, although some trundle wheels can also measure in what? In centimeters. Okay, right. Then here we have got draw these lines, right? So on drawing, we need to have our ruler starting from 0. If it does not start from 0, still we can use it, and it means that the first number that we see there on the ruler will be our 0 mark, and then we count from that number. Every next number, it will be our next centimeter. Okay, so draw these lines. We have 9 centimeter in a line that is 9 centimeters. So you put your 0 mark, the mark on the 0, and then you go and count 9 centimeters, and then put another mark where 9 centimeter ends. Then you join the two lines from the 0 mark to where 9 reaches. You have your 9 centimeter line. Then we go to 6,3, right? So if you see between 6 and 7, there is a middle line there between 6, and that line will be 6,5. Okay, the middle line, which is between 6 and 7. Between 6 and 7, there is a middle line there, which is shown on the ruler, and that mark is 6,5. Then you need to go 2 smaller strokes backwards. That's where you have 6,3. 6,3 centimeters. It just means 6 centimeters and 3 millimeters. So 3 millimeters, they count from 6 going forward, but it will be before the middle line there between 6 and 7, which is showing 0.5. Okay. Now, how many millimeters is each line? Like 9 centimeters, how many millimeters is it? If you can just check the opposite way, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, you will see that 9 centimeters has got 90 millimeters. Okay, 90 millimeters. Then 6,3, it will be 6 centimeters, it's 60 millimeters plus 3 millimeters, which is 63 millimeters. Okay, right? Then we go draw these lines. Draw these lines. Now you are using the side where they are millimeters. Okay, put your ruler. Then if your ruler has got a 0 mark, put a mark on the 0 line, 0 point. Then you go where there is 80 millimeters, you put a mark again, then draw and join the 2 points, 0 point and 80 millimeter point, right? Then 99, you go from 0 to 90, from 0 to 90, then plus the 9 millimeters. 9 millimeters is just a small stroke before 100. Before 100 millimeters. These are millimeters, remember? So it's just one stroke before the long stroke of what? Of 100 millimeters. Okay? Right? That's where we have 99 millimeters. 99 millimeters. Right? The next question is saying, how many centimeters are they? These lines, how many centimeters are they? Right? Just check. 80 millimeters. Between each centimeter, it's 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters. So from 0 to 80, we have got how many centimeters? Right? Correct. That's 8 centimeters. And 99 millimeters, it will be 9 full centimeters. And then a fraction, 9 centimeters. Then the other 9 millimeters is a fraction of a centimeter. They don't reach a full centimeter. So it's 9,9 centimeters. Okay. Thank you so much, grade 6s. I want to believe that you have learned a lot. Thank you so much. Let's meet again in the next video. Bye-bye.